Hello, welcome back. Thank you for coming back to another episode of this absolutely pathetic show. It's gonna be a fun ride. I'm glad you're here. I'm gonna spill the tea, although it's not tea, it's coffee. Sorry, you caught me.
Sue me, I don't know.
So welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you've decided to return. I don't know why. Thank you to like the 5 people that are watching this. I really appreciate you. Okay, so as you can probably tell by the title of the video, today's video is going to be the story of my crazy co-worker who literally turned everyone that I worked with against me over a guy. So this person is absolutely nuts, is by no means the worst person that I've ever met, by a long shot. And I actually don't have
any problem with her anymore.
All of what I'm about to tell you is in the past and we've moved on, we've wrapped it in a bow, it's fine. We actually left on really good terms. So I just wanted to preface by saying that.
Also, I'd like to preface by saying that
I am
a generally nice person.
And when I meet people, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I like to try and see the best in everyone and in every situation, which sometimes is not like, that's not the best thing to do.
that's just the kind of person I am. I like to see the good in people rather than the bad. Sometimes that fucks me over, but whatever.
You know, I want everyone to be friends and be happy and joyous and to spread love and for everything to be a-okay. Obviously, sometimes that is not the situation. And in this case, it definitely wasn't, and it was definitely very interesting. Obviously, I don't want to say any names, so let's just call this person Aubrey. Now, before I even start talking about how I met Aubrey, we're just gonna push sis to the side and we're just going to focus on the very beginning of it all.
Let's set the scene.
When I decided to do the Disney college program, I basically was deciding that I was going to give up my whole life in Australia, move to a different country that was literally on the other side of the world. It's like 25 hours on a plane. It's disgusting. And move everything I've ever known to another country, start this new life, knowing no one.
I was going to move out of home, which I'd never done before. I was going to work full time, which I'd also never done before.
Basically, like, this was a step for me. Like, so obviously coming into any situation where you're meeting a lot of new people that you don't know is scary. Anyway, so my first location that I worked at on the program was in... I may be dumb, but I'm not dumb enough to put my workplace's name in this video, even though people probably already know where I worked. We'll just say that I worked at like La La Land or some shit. And this is where I met Aubrey. When I first met her, I had no problems with her. Coming into a new work environment where there had been a lot of people there who had already known each other, who had already become friends, who had like kind of formed little cliques, and everyone was really comfortable around each other already. So that was quite daunting to kind of like try and break into that. And Aubrey, for me, I saw her as someone who was very intimidating, and she really stood out for me as kind of like a leader within her like small group of friends. She was very comfortable in her situation. She had been there for about, I think like 8 or 9 months before I'd even got there, and she'd been working there. So she was confident in what she was doing. You know, she had made a lot of friends. She had situated herself in this environment. So that to me was quite intimidating. But other than that, I had really no problems with her. The only thing that was really kind of an issue was the fact that I was obviously new and I had literally no idea what I was doing. When I started work, let me tell you, I kid you not, I was so dumb. So dumb. I had no idea what I was doing. I literally looked back at the shit that I did and I was like, why? Like, are you kidding me? Like, how could you be this dumb? Like, how? I just don't understand how I was so shit at my job. But like, obviously you're not going to be perfect at something that you do at the very start. You have to build up to that. Everyone's an idiot when they first start out. So I fully understand how she could be irritated with me and all of the new people. Other than that, we had no issues. So maybe a month went by.
Started to like form some friendships and start talking to people at work and getting more comfortable in the whole environment and the whole like the whole scene of it.
And I started to talk to Aubrey. Not a lot, you know, we would just have small conversations at work sometimes, and I just started to get more friendly with her and more comfortable around her. She was still intimidating, but we just started talking a little bit and kind of slowly becoming friends.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Aubrey was a character. She's a very interesting person and I respect her for that. I like people who are very original and unique and who don't care about what other people think of them and are just true to themselves. So I really respect her in that sense. And she's just a very interesting person in general. And she was very, very open. When I started to become friends with her and started to talk to her, she would literally tell me about anything, like sex life, guys, Tinder, like the whole deal. I'm very open as well. I literally would talk about anything. I don't care.
I mean, I'm talking about my life on the internet. I don't care. I'll talk to you about anything.
So she was very open with me. You know, I was open with her. We would have funny conversations and laugh about guys and stuff like that. And it was all sweet beans. One day, Aubrey and I were in the break room. She is talking to me about guys and about Tinder. And she mentions that she had been talking to a guy or seeing a guy. I don't know exactly what happened between them, but she just mentioned that she'd been talking to this guy who was Australian. And me being Australian also.
Hi, g'day, how are ya?
I was like, oh, cool, like, what's his name? I might know him. Because there's not a lot of Australians on the program, so, you know, it's a small world and the Aussies know each other. So I was like, you know, what's his name? I might know him. So she says that his name was, let's call him Andrew. So she says, oh, his name's Andrew. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I know an Andrew. I was like, what's his last name? You know, show me a photo of him. Maybe it's the same person. She pulls up his Tinder or a photo of him on her phone. She shows me. And it is literally the exact person that I was thinking about. This is the
Same Andrew
that I had met. So let's just like put all of the information I've just told you about into a box and push that to the side for now. When I first started the program, literally like 2 weeks into it, the housing that I was staying at, they would throw us like welcome events.
Basically, like they held it in a big field in the housing complex. They had like a DJ, music, you could go and meet the characters, there was free food.
And like a lot of the new CPs would go. So in the first or second week of my program, me and my roommates went down to this housing event. I am a big party person. I'm a party animal. No, but
I am a big party person.
and coming to America, that was my vibe. That was my thing. I was like, I want to go to America. Bitch, I want to live. I want to have fun. I want to party.
I want to experience and see all there is to see, do everything there is to do.
I want to live it up. So me and my roommates went down to this housing event and it was like pumping.
It was kind of like lame and Disney-ish, but like it was still pumping. There was a lot of people there. Everyone was dancing and I was very excited.
I'm just dancing away in the mosh pit, like living life, like having a great time. And I hear people yelling really, really loudly. I turn my head around. There was a bunch of guys
Crowded around, standing on top of chairs, wearing whack costumes, like screaming, yelling, just being public nuisances. And me also being a public nuisance.
I was like, who are they? Like, literally sniffed it out. I was like, who are these people? These look like my kind of people. They're on my level. This is where I want to be. Anyway, I was talking to my roommates. I was like, I bet you, I kid you not, they are Australian. $50 says they're Australian. One of my roommates was like, oh, why don't you go and introduce yourself? Like, let's go and meet them. Let's go and talk to them. Whatever, like, let's do it.
So we go over there and my roommate is like, hey, are you guys Australian? And they were like, yeah, we are.
I was like, where's my $50?
Like, you know, reel it in. So we introduced ourselves, we talked for a few minutes tops, and that was it. That was literally the whole extent of the interaction. I maybe said like 1 or 2 words to Andrew, who was in the group. That was the only time I had ever met Andrew in person. So yeah, I leave, I go home, and I don't really think about it. I don't really give it a second thought. You know, a few weeks later, maybe a month later, I'm just on my phone scrolling through Tinder, as you do. I'm like, who's in America? Who's around? I come across this guy called
Andrew.
And it looks a lot like the person that I met at the housing event. I click on his profile and it's him. Obviously, like, do you ever do that thing where you see someone that you feel like you know or you do know and you match them solely because you want to see if they matched you? That's what, me trying to explain myself, that's what I did, and we matched with each other. I think maybe like a few days after that, he said hey, I said hey back.
Now, I'm being so honest with you, I can barely breathe.
That is the extent of the whole conversation. I honestly tried to like look at the conversation on my phone, but I'm pretty sure he unmatched me. Anyway, coming back to the box that I just pushed away with Aubrey in it, I'm sitting in the break room with her. She pulls up the photo of Andrew, shows it to me, and is like, this is him. And I go,
Oh my god, that is so funny. That's the same person that I saw at the housing event, and I also matched with him on Tinder.
that's the same Andrew. She was like, oh really, like that's funny. We were kind of just like laughing it off. I didn't think it was serious at all.
That's funny, that's ironic, that's the same guy.
Keeping in mind that I'd only interacted with this person literally one time and it wasn't really even a conversation, and also I'd sent hey to him and that was it. I left that conversation with Aubrey honestly thinking nothing of it. I didn't even know that she was like seeing him or like sleeping with him or whatever she was doing.
I honestly can't remember, but I just remember leaving that conversation not really thinking anything of it.
Anyway, a few weeks later, I rock up to work and I'm starting to get this weird vibe. I'm a very intuitious. I'd started to feel like this really weird vibe, like every person that I'd interacted with kind of just didn't want any bar of it. People and try and have conversations with my coworkers, and it just seemed like literally no one wanted to talk to me. People would like ignore me or like kind of just brush me off, give me like one word answers, kind of rude to me. I was kind of like, what is going on? Like literally, what is wrong with me, Chloe? I was like, what did I do? Like, why does everyone hate me? This sucks.
You know,
On for about a good like 2 weeks. I was kind of, I'm weird. I just can't get these people to like be my friend. And for me, being someone who likes to be friends with everyone and just wants people to like me, that was really hard. I came to work every day feeling like shit and feeling like I was an outsider. You know, I sound like such an overdramatic bitch, but literally every day I would rock up to work and try to talk to a new person, and every person would literally like ignore me, so bye. The only friends I had were the people that I trained with, and when it felt like people were talking about me behind my back, I didn't know what was happening. I just didn't know what I had done to make people so annoyed with me. Why do I have such a big victim complex? Anyway, it was a few weeks, maybe a month of me feeling like shit. I actually got to a point where I was like, what the fuck? Like, this sucks. People like me. Okay, it came to a boiling point the day that I had to write a statement about an incident that happened at work. Now, I was still new at this point, and I'm not gonna make any excuses for myself because literally I was so dumb when I started and I didn't know what I was doing and I was still learning. Anyway, one day I was working and I was in a position with Aubrey. I was on one side and she was on another, and I had made a dumb mistake. I won't tell you exactly what it is. I don't want to get in trouble for anything. I just made a dumb mistake at work, and of course, who was there to witness it? Aubrey. Yes, I made this dumb mistake, but I was also still new at this time and I didn't really know what I was doing. So in that situation, I panicked and I was like, shit, what do I do? I was kind of like in distress, and she was there and another person was also there. Both were kind of looking at me and I was like, I didn't know what to do. Aubrey had been there for a very long time before me and knew exactly what I should have done. And she said something to me that signaled, oh, I need to go and do this to fix the situation, which was not the right thing to do. Me being new, I didn't know what I was doing, so I kind of just listened to what she said and I just reacted in that moment. Obviously, it was not the right thing to do, but I honestly was looking at her, I was looking at this other person.
I was frazzled, I was distressed.
In the moment, I just like heard it and I reacted. And then, of course, at that very moment when I was making that mistake, a coordinator came up to my position and saw the whole thing. Let's call her Taylor. Taylor and Aubrey were standing there, the ride was stopped, and they were basically like, what the fuck? They were looking at me like I was a dead set idiot. and I needed help, and they were basically just standing there like staring at me, like expecting that I knew what to do and expecting that I would just fix it and expecting me to just be like, okay, you know exactly what you're doing, it's perfect, like just keep going. They were looking at me like I was a literal idiot. That is what sent me off about this person. Though I made a mistake, help me, like tell me what I'm doing wrong in a nice way. Don't yell at me and bark at me and just wait for me to try and fix it and then be like, well, no, you didn't fix that right, that was wrong. No, you didn't do that properly. Like I literally went to try and restart the ride and restart what I was doing. And Aubrey was like, you need to do it like this. Don't do that. Okay, restart the ride. And so I went to restart the ride. She was like, yeah, you were not supposed to do it like that. So anyway, all of that happened. I was pissed off, whatever. Later on in that day, I was pulled up to the manager's office to write a statement about the incident. The manager's office is in a completely separate building to the attraction. So you have to kind of walk across a path to get there. And then there is like a bottom level where all of the coordinators sit and they have their little office space, and then you go upstairs and that's where all like the management is, like the leaders and stuff like that. I walked over to this building like freaking the fuck out. I went upstairs to the leader's office. I wrote my statement. I was very pissed off. I told them exactly everything that happened. I came down. Guess who was sitting in the office? Aubrey.
Sitting on a chair like this, like spinning around in the coordinator's office.
Mind you, she was not a coordinator. Let me say that. This person was a CP, a cast member, not a coordinator. I walked past, I saw her in there. She was like,
Oh, what happened up there? Like, what did they say?
bitch, as if I am going to tell you what just happened. At this point, I was just like, I'm done. This is it. I'm sick of this bitch. Like, I am done trying to be nice. I'm done trying to put up with this girl. Everyone at work, I felt like hated me. Now this had happened. I felt like an idiot. I felt like Aubrey was out to get me. I felt like Taylor hated me, and I really liked Taylor. Like, that annoyed me because I really wanted to be friends with her. So that was shit. The world was just crashing down. Like,
So that same day that I had gone and wrote the statement about what had happened, straight after that, I came back to work.
I went into this room, this little closet. One of my really good friends from the program.
what should we call her? We'll call her Lola. Now, I went into this closet and Lola was sitting in there, and even though I knew that she didn't really like me, I was so pissed off that I was just fuming and I was venting, and I was like, guess the fuck what? I lost it. I told her everything that happened. I told her this person has literally gotten me in so much trouble. Lola tells me after all of that she had been talking to Aubrey, and that Aubrey had a completely different story to what had actually happened. And she had been telling every single person she could about the mistake that I had made. Like, how embarrassing. This was the end for me. This was it. I was like,
Are you fucking kidding me?
like, this person is nuts. She's going around telling everyone that I had made this mistake, and that was no joke coming from Lola, because after I talked to her, I went back into the break room, and the first thing that someone said to me was, wow, you made this mistake? And everyone was talking about it already. Mind you, it had literally been like an hour since this had happened. So she had spread this all throughout the workplace. I was just at my wit's end with Aubrey. Every interaction I had with her from that point on was irritating.
We either like ignored each other, or she would like call me out for making one tiny mistake at work, or she would tell me what to do or boss me around. I was just done.
So a few weeks later, it was finally time for Aubrey to get out of Disney and go back to her hometown.
Her college program was ending and it was time for her to leave. Once she had finally left, everyone that I worked with, all of the CPs went out for dinner and drinks at a local bar called Miller's.
And everyone came. It was so much fun.
We had never really hung out in a big group like that before. We were sitting there, we were talking, we were having grand old time. The topic of Aubrey came up. Isn't that funny? Lola and all of Aubrey's other friends started
Spilling the tea.
basically what they told me is that Aubrey had told everyone that I had been talking to Andrew while they were like seeing each other and making fun of him for seeing her and making fun of her looks and her appearance.
How could I ever judge someone on how they look when I literally am a potato and look like this?
So this person told everyone that I worked with not to be friends with me because I was making fun of her and I was dissing her with this Australian guy that I had never even really met. So much sense. That's why no one had wanted to be friends with me. That's why everyone was ignoring me. That's why people were being like kind of rude to me at work. This person told everyone not to be friends with me. This person made up blatant lies about me. So when she finally left, all of the truth finally, and started talking about all the shitty things that she had done to them or said about them, blah, 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 blah. It's a whole situation. Anyway, God that had happened, because after that, everyone became friends and we were all like so close and it was just the best. I finally got to be friends with all of these people. And understand how someone would want to start something like that. Like, is this high school? Because it left, one had become friends and everyone was hanging out and life was swell. It was grand. And then a few months later, her Hayley had started working at this location, but she'd been transferred over. I don't know why, but started working with us and I thought she was really nice and it was fun and she was like another friend. And as we went, Liz and Hayley would come along. The topic of talking about Tinder and all of that stuff, as you do. Anyway, Lee mentioned that she had previously been seeing who was also Australian.
Oh, no.
No freaking way that the Australian person that Hayley is talking about is the same Andrew. It's gotta be a joke, literally. There is no way like that this is the same person. I was, drum roll please, I was like warming myself up. I was like, Hayley, okay, you gotta show his name. Oh, no, I can't remember. I was like, okay, show me a photo of him. Pulls out her phone, shows me. Lo and behold, it is the same Andrew. Are you kidding me? This girl who starts working at the same place, who doesn't even know Aubrey. She wasn't even there at the same time that Aubrey was there. Aubrey, how does this happen? That is funny. She told me that she had been seeing him and blah, blah, blah. Does this story any more ironic? It was yes. So a few months later, again, Hayley's program was ending and she was leaving.
A few months since Aubrey was even in the picture. It's been a good month since Hayley had left her program location.
So
Anyway, on one of
I got the last day program. I got to visit Spaceship Earth,
La La Land.
to the front of the attraction, and it's who works there now. Guess who got deployed to Spaceship?
La La Land.
How the hell does this happen?
I was shocked. My jaw was to the floor. Out of all the people who could have been deployed there, Andrew was now working there. Had worked there, and now he was working there. What the fuck? I am literally flabbergasted. This is just
like the craziest
thing I've ever experienced. Also, like,
His training buddy was a girl from Blizzard Beach.
Hell.
who was deployed to Spaceship
La La Land.
the whole time I was at Blizzard Beach
Hell.
to get put back to Spaceship Earth.
La La Land.
My fury with all my like willpower, I was trying to get back there the whole time I was. Finally, when we were being deployed, is anyone going to Epcot? Is anyone being deployed to Epcot? And they were like, no one's going there. So like, cool, that's fine. Like, I'm okay
with that. If no one's going to Epcot, like no one's going there, you know?
like being renovated and moved around in Epcot. There was big changes happening, so they didn't really have many spaces there. That's literally what my leader from Blizzard told me. I was like, cool, fine, that's fine. Comes up to me and it's like, oh, guess where I'm being deployed to? I said, bitch, where? Tell me, I would love to know. She looks at me and she says, Spaceship
La La Land.
You kidding me? This girl from Blizzard Beach
Hell.
to Spaceship Earth.
La La Land.
I'm already trained there. I'm already picking up shifts there every week. I know what I'm doing there. You kidding me? So after all of the crap that had happened between Aubrey and me, everyone that I worked with Haley coming in who had told me about how she had been seeing the exact same person, at the end of all of this shit, who decides to go and work for
La La Land.
Andrew? Who decides to get deployed to
La La Land.
a girl from
Hell.
wasn't me, and they were training buddies. And I saw them together at the front of the ride, guess what, on the day that I had to leave. So basically, the moral of this story, there's none. Always be yourself and don't let anyone try and compromise who you are or make you feel less or not as important as everyone else. Even if everyone is literally against you, just keep being nice and keep being the best version of yourself that you can be, because that's all you can do. You know, I still tried to be friends with these people even when they hated me, and it all worked out for the best, because when this person finally left, everyone came together and everyone became friends and was like a family and was so close, and everyone was really accepting of me. No matter what, just always stay true to you and always try and see the best in people, even when some people decide to trash your name, and just kill them with kindness. Literally, that's my life motto. Kill them with kindness, because sometimes like you can ask yourself, what's wrong with me? You know, like, why don't these people like me? Why is this person being so horrible to me? Spreading rumors about me. Obviously, like, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect or whatever. Like, I'm literally, I'm far from it. But sometimes like you just can't control how other people perceive you. You've just got to rely on the fact that you know who you are, you know that you're a good person, and treat people with respect, and that will come back to you in good favor. In the end, it all worked out for the best and people saw the truth. Shit happens, but like at the end of the day, that's what makes you who you are. So you got it, boo. That's just a funny little story I thought I would share. By no means am I like dragging Aubrey or dragging Andrew or dragging anyone mentioned in this story at all. I just thought this was an interesting story to tell, something that I experienced on my program, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about in a little video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know. I'm so excited for this channel. I have a lot of ideas, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. If you have watched this the whole way through, I sincerely appreciate you, but that is all I have. That was intense. That's the tea. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you have a great day, a great week, whatever you're doing. I hope it's great. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.